Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. Giants and Jets preview. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports.
The Giants and Jets are looking to come out of the depths of hell and to the top of the NFC and AFC East. And we've got Mike from Pudgy Boy Sports, the Giant aficionado. Mike, what's going on, bro?
Not much, man. I'm excited. First preseason games are right around the corner for the both of us. We're 1 week, less than a week away from watching both of these teams finally put together and finally giving us a little tease of what they're going to look like on the field.
And you know what? Maybe even as a New York football fan this year, maybe our season won't be over by the end of October. We can always hope and pray. But Mike, let's preview the New York Giants first here on the show. What are you most positive about? Tell us your feeling about the New York Giants and what you've seen so far.
Just watching all throughout training camp, watching how guys like John Harbaugh handle the media. The thing I'm most excited about, and I could be the most consistent thing since he's taken this job, is the culture that John Harbaugh has already set with this team. You see that they're all retaining everything he's saying, the disciplinarian, the adult in the room. John Harbaugh has me most excited over anything and everything else for this upcoming Giants season.
You know what? The Harbaugh signing this year has been the difference. Now, the New York Giants have had a complete clown car carousel of head coaches. And you know, especially in the NFL, you will have instability if you do not have stability at the head coaching position. And that's what your head coach brings in immediately. It draws parallel to Tom Coughlin coming in from the Jacksonville Jaguars and bringing immediate military discipline into the team. Now, my question to you is, can that still work for an NFL team of professionals making millions in 2026?
I think it'll work even more for this specific Giants team because they're one of the younger teams in the league right now. They have the young quarterback, the young skill position players. They got a lot of guys on this team that just need to be molded in the right direction. They haven't had any direction for the last couple of years, let alone any direction in the last year with Dable. This team needed that guy to come in, and this will 100% work because you see what these guys are putting on the field and all the interviews that they're doing about how they're all retaining it. They're all listening to the former Ravens players that are here now that are kind of taking leadership of the locker room. And they're kind of telling you, just because coach yells at you doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. This is the guy that's going to lead us to success finally.
You know, one of the biggest criticisms of the signing of your head coach is the fact that he had fourth quarter losses all over the place and blew leads all over the place. Now, what has been the New York Giants' biggest bugaboo in the last 5 years is blowing leads in the fourth quarter. What do you think will be different with him at the helm?
I mean, a lot of the context of those blowing a lot of those leads, man, a lot of that stuff wasn't just on coaching. You know, Lamar Jackson made bad decisions, guys fumbling the football, guys missing field goals. And yes, you put the personnel on the field, they have to perform, ultimately falls on the head coach. But a lot of the fourth quarter leads were due for the Giants were on the defensive side of the football. I love what they brought in Denard Wilson. I think he's going to be a tremendous defensive coordinator. But I think all situations just aren't the same, right? Everything is different week to week. And I think John Harbaugh completely cleans up the epic, not just the fourth quarter meltdowns. These were epic fourth quarter meltdowns that the Giants had last season.
And you know what Harbaugh brings in is the fact that he brings how heavy it is to be a New York Giant and the significance and the pride of the blue and in white. And that kind of draws parallel to me being a Yankee fan, how guys pass the torch of tradition of the New York Giants. And they really haven't had that with the McAdoos of the world. And now let's switch to their young core because I know people are really excited about Dart, Honey Boo Boo when he's not doing backflips, and Nabers looks like they just got a brand new leg on this guy the way that he's moving. Tell me what you're most excited about and what you're a little worried about in New York Giants this year.
It's obviously health. All three of those guys you mentioned have to be on the field, right? You saw Malik Nabers obviously coming back from the gruesome leg injury that he had. He looks like a brand new guy, but still, you got to be on the field and healthy. We saw the stuff with Dart all season last year. What he's got to learn how to slide. He's got to learn how to this. He's going to put himself in the blue tent. the Dable ran into the blue tent and got himself in trouble. That's how valuable Jackson Dart is. And then Skattebo, obviously he got hurt. He snapped his ankle in half going up for a pass. These guys have got to be on the field together. That's my biggest concern with the three of them, because when they're on the field together, I think that they could do very, very special things.
Now, I think that one of the biggest surprises this year coming out of the New York Giants is going to be their defense and their defensive line. One of the things that's much improved is that the defense on the New York Giants, and especially with your head coach, is definitely going to help improve that. But as far as the young guys are concerned, and Jackson Dart, what brings me concern about your quarterback is that he is loosey-goosey, and he loves to get out of the pocket and start creating. Now, I know that is the new brand of quarterback all across the NFL. You got to have wheels. He is a little undersized to play that brand of football. And the New York Giants are directly, like a lot of other teams in football, their success is directly correlated to their quarterback performance. Do you expect him to take a step this year, sophomore slump? What do you expect from Dart? What's some reasonable expectations from your quarterback this year?
I expect him to take the step into that top 10, 12 range in the quarterback conversation. I think asking him to get into the top 5 range is completely crazy. Would I love to see it? Yes. But I think under this system, under with Harbaugh, under with Matt Nagy, who had tremendous success with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Fields just a few years ago, I expect Dart to take that next step into that category where we're actually starting to discuss him as, is Jackson Dart a top 10 quarterback in this league after next season?
Well, now also another thing is that the book gets out on guys and people pick up on schemes really quickly. So we're going to see how the NFL adjusts to Dart and the New York Giants, because the Giants aren't going to surprise anybody because they're making noise with their young guys, and it's going to be exciting to see what the New York Giants bring to the table. Do we have a win-loss prediction yet?
I'm hovering around 9 or 10 at this point.
9 or 10 would probably get them second place or first place in a competitive NFC East. So Mike is going on the optimistic route. Now Let's talk about the pessimistic route. Now let's go over across town, or maybe just across the building, with the New York Jets. Maybe just end the season, but this is the season of perpetual hope, folks. This is the season where we get to hope, and we know that our season is probably going to be over by October, but you know what? We can still hope and pray. And the New York Jets, with the leadership of Mougey, with the leadership of Aaron Glenn, are going to try to take this New York Jets team to the next step. Now, the question is, what is that step going to look like? What are the expectations of the New York Jets with Aaron Glenn on the hot seat in New York? But can Aaron Glenn answer the call? Do you think he has it in him, Mike?
I don't. I really don't. I just don't think Glenn is a good head coach. I just want to know from your perspective as a Jets fan, where are you optimistic about Glenn?
I think the New York Jets, Geno Smith will be out of the starting quarterback position by week 6. I think Aaron Glenn will be out of the head coaching position by week 8. I think the offensive coordinator is going to take over Reich. I think that he brought in his replacement into that building. Now, the only thing that I think that will save Aaron Glenn's job is the fact that he does have Woody Johnson's ear, and they do have a friendship. Not to mention, Woody Johnson's got like 3 other coaches on the books right now. He's paying for 2 other head coaches that he's fired. If he fires Aaron Glenn now, that's 3 guys. So he's allocating like close to $21 million in dead space for head coaches. So do you want to change for change's sake? I think the moment's too big for him. I didn't think he was that great of a defensive coordinator. He was on the Lions and the Saints. They gave up a lot of points. He was a hot prospect, but I think the story is great. But just like Anthony Volpe on the New York Yankees, I'm not here for a story. I'm here for results. I'm here for progression, and that's exactly what the New York Jets need to do this year, is progress, because in the first 6 weeks of this season, the Jets are probably going to go 1-5. And after week 6, they're going to turn around and go, what's wrong with this team? And it's going to be Glenn, because Geno Smith is not the answer, bro. Geno Smith maybe 3 years ago would have been the answer. In that last season in the Oakland Raiders, I know that everybody that goes to the Raiders fails at the quarterback position. But this guy, they brought him back for the final humiliation ritual, it seems like. And with all the stories coming out in the preseason where there's smoke, there's fire, this guy doesn't seem like a stable human being, let alone a stable quarterback. Now, the excitement about Klubnik from Clemson, the battle for the number 2 quarterback. You're going to have Zappe from the Patriots. Also, the single season yards thrower in NCAA history, Zappe, by the way. Throw that one in your pipe and smoke it. He's going to be fighting for the number 2 spot, but it looks like Klubnik's spot. And I think Klubnik will be the quarterback of this team by week 7. And then you're going to start seeing the progression. I just want the Jets in games in the fourth quarter. That's all I want. I want meaningful football games this year, and I just want games that matter, and I don't want the season to be over by October, but I'm sorry, I think it might be.
Now, not every 1-5 or at the end of the not every 6-11 season is created equally, right? If you saw the Giants last year, like we said about those epic fourth quarter meltdowns, they're a couple of games away from Brian Daboll possibly still having a job right now because
Absolutely.
He drafted Jackson Dart, but because he hired the bad defensive coordinator. So go back to Glenn. If there's a position where, like you say, the Jets, and again, it always comes down to wins and losses in the NFL. It's a results business. If they're a competitive 1-5 to start the year where they're losing games by nail biting, you're talking fourth quarter, just like not meltdowns, but just fourth quarter blunders. Is there any way possible the guy could save his job just having a competitive team, or do they literally need to win games this year?
But that was supposed to be last year. The having competitive games was actually supposed to be last year, and it was a hot dumpster fire. So that's the problem. Let's talk about the first few weeks with the New York Jets schedule. Jets at Titans. I'll give the Jets that win. Yep. Packers at Jets, loss. Jets at Lions, loss, 1-2. Jets at Bears, loss, 1-3. Browns at Jets, I'm going to give them a loss, 1-4. Jets at Patriots, 1-5. Their next win against Dolphins and Jets, which I think they'll split the season series, will be their first time that they can actually go for their second win. That's on October 25th, right before Halloween, and the season's over.
Now, just going off of that schedule, this just makes week 1 against Tennessee. I mean, that is a brutal first 4 weeks of the season.
And they're playing the NFC North this year, which is arguably the best division in all of football.
And if that game, I mean, you can't lose that game to Tennessee because right away, dude, you're going to hear it after the first loss to Tennessee about you just cut bait right now with Aaron Glenn. It has to be over because it starts to get to 0-3, 0-4. And I do think they could beat a team like the Browns. No Myles Garrett anymore.
I know, but I think the Browns with their defense, I think that they got the guy from the Rams. But let's just say 1-5 at the after the Patriots series on October 18th. Yeah. They're 1-5. Dolphins, Jets, let's give them a dub there. Raiders, Jets, let's give them another dub there. So now they got 3 wins. Then the death blow hits. You got at Chiefs, Bills, Chargers, Dolphins. I think they're going to split the season series, so I'm going to give them a loss on that one. We have to play the Broncos every year like it's a goddamn rule in the NFL. Broncos versus Jets, they lose that game. Jets, Cardinals, that's one that they could win. Patriots, Jets, Vikings, Jets, Jets, Bills. Hello to 4 wins this year for the New York Jets.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, you got to Glenn's going to have to be cut no matter what.
So he's going to be gone. And then, when he started calling John Gruden to come in and be one of his coaches, I knew the writing was on the wall right there. If you were going to bring in a guy like John Gruden, it's kind of like this. When you work at a restaurant, you get somebody to cover your shift so much, the manager starts going, well, why do we need Eric so much if he's here all the time? That's like Reich. I'm telling you, he's in the building. He's going to wind up being the head coach of the New York Jets because it's more stability. He's been there. He's done that. Now, let's talk about the positives for the New York Jets and things that I'm looking forward to. Is the tight end room. Pause. Okay? Jeremy Ruckert, you got the kid from Oregon. You got Taylor's kid in that room and the tight end from the Indianapolis Colts that Reich used to work with. So now you have a 3-headed monster at the tight end position. And with the way that the Jets want to run their offense this year with Brandon Allen and Breece Hall, that's going to be a run-first team, and with 3 tight ends, which has been coming back into the NFL, you have 3 athletic guys right there. The kid from Oregon was hurt. The injury is not as severe as they thought. He will be back in a week and a half, which is great news for the New York Jets. Also, you got Cooper from Indiana that they also added. but who's going to throw it to him, bro? Geno Smith is a liability behind the quarterback position. The New York Jets are still 2-3 years away. Next year, they're going to have a quarterback draft, hopefully get their guy in. Let's see what's happening with Klubnik. But I have to admit, I am expecting a huge year, not from Breece Hall, but Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin last year got his season cut short, returning kicks from Aaron Glenn. Another bonehead move from him. This guy has put on more mass. He's at 250 now. This guy is got lightning speed. We got a little thunder and lightning. And Breece Hall, this is a make or break year for him. And also with Garrett Wilson, make or break year for both guys.
Now, dude, you talk about all these kids like Cooper Jr. I love Omar Cooper Jr. There's a kid last year. I mean, the kid they traded, Adonai Mitchell, the receiver that they got from Indianapolis in the in the Sauce Gardner deal. I'm huge on Adonai Mitchell. He's very boomer bust, but he's like such an X receiver to me. I thought that was such an underrated get back that the Jets got, that Darren Mougey was able to pry him out of Indianapolis. To have Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, Cooper Jr., and I mean, the weapons are there for the New York Jets, and I would be really excited about.
Once again, they're not going to have anyone to throw it to him because I am not believing in this Geno Smith experiment, man. This is a patch, and I think that football has passed them by. You know, they didn't write back. Well, guess what? They're writing back, and you're reading it now, and I do not trust in Geno Smith this year. But the one thing I do trust in the New York Jets, and I don't know why, it's blind trust, is Mougey. Even people in the know, football heads that get really in the minutia, know all that are in the know, say that every single, just the move that you talked about, getting Mitchell from Indianapolis Colts, those small equity moves that he has just upgraded every single position on the New York Jets, get a little bit better at every position. And that's what it takes. It's a 3 or 4 year process of just getting better at every single position on the field. Also, Bailey out of Texas Tech, I'm expecting major things from him. The news coming out of camp is expect immediate, huge impact. And then when you got a guy like Will McDonald on the other end of that defensive line, they've improved the defensive tackles on this team. You know what? You bring in Davis to be the middle linebacker. I like the Jets defense. Their secondary is going to be the problem on this team. And they did not have a single turnover last year in all of 2025. So let's get a turnover in the first game of the year and let's get the ground running. But me and Mike will be back all preseason long with the New York Giants and the New York Jets right here on New York Minute Sports. Also, go over to Mike at Pudgy Boy Sports. The Z is on boys, okay? On Instagram, also on YouTube. Does a great job covering the Knicks, the Giants, and the Mets. Go check him out. And you're right here at New York Minute Sports. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and remember, if you can't be good, be the New York Jets or New York football in the past decade. But hopefully that changes. Bye.